Welcome to Friday Heavy, your guide to the world of aggressive and abrasive and loud music. Brought to you by the two folks behind Toondig. I'm Cliff.
And I'm Kyle, and I'm always appreciative of how you come in. You try to find a way to come in totally differently on the same intro every time. If you've never listened to Friday Heavy before, I encourage you to go back and listen and splice all of Cliff's intros together for fun, because that would be fun. But here's the premise, if you've never listened before. Each episode we cover three things. One brand new release from the world of heavy, weird, extreme, strange, alternative music, and why we think it'll be worth a spin. One playlist we've curated to explore a heavy subgenre or artist or scene, and boy, do we have a hell of a one for you. And thirdly, and most importantly by far, one heavy cause, one organization doing heavy lifting around a heavy cause, specifically critical and culture impacting work in their community around that cause, because that's what the spirit of punk rock is all about. Cliff, we got a real one today, like some real deal shit. Let's get into it. Talk to him.
The earnestness, I feel it welling up inside of me. Today we're talking about Oklahoma City's Chat Pile, who just released a record at, Kyle, you tell me if I'm wrong, but kind of at the exact intersection of a couple of our favorite forms of heavy. One is auditory in the way that it sounds and feels and all that, and the other is conceptual.
Heavy in your body, heavy in your soul.
100%.
Yeah.
So the sludgy quartet Chat Pile from Oklahoma City released God's Country last Friday, July 29th, was it? Yeah, July 29th.
Still ripping hot off the press.
Ooh, it is devastating.
Mm-hmm.
So inside of Friday Heavy, we usually or often are bringing you a release we haven't been able to hear yet, because it's like releasing on the day or even in a future week. So in this one, we've had enough time to actually see it, listen to it, and listen to what other people are thinking about it. And so we're actually...
Spoiler, we've all collectively gotten our doors blown off. But
Well, that's right. Dude, real, true story. I pointed my bike downhill last weekend once I figured out that this record was out, and I caught myself smiling and yelling and angry and happy all at once, just listening to
primal screaming with your whole skeleton.
Oof. So, in the words of Pitchfork, who have correctly labeled this as some of the best new music, quote, Chat Pile's sound is as ugly as their inspiration, a terrifying embodiment.
It is ugly.
Yeah. Ugh. It's a terrifying embodiment of cancerous shit brought to the surface that should have been left buried deep below. And when they are talking about Chat Pile's inspiration, they're talking about what the term Chat Pile means. So instead of going off about that here, which would be my normal move, why don't you just Google Chat Pile and discover yet another way to be really upset about the way that the federal government treats people that they can categorically forget about. Anyway, back to the record. God's Country is goddamn about something too, okay? It doesn't just sound awesome, it's about something. So we're just going to take two quotes directly from band members. This band is a four-piece and they all use pseudonyms. So from the vocalist Raygun Bush, quote, in Oklahoma City, there are...
Raygun, R-A-Y-G-U-N, which is tight. I appreciate that play.
So Raygun says, in Oklahoma City, there are huge crosses and statues of Jesus and enormous churches everywhere, and yet the teachings of Christ cannot be found implemented anywhere. This is true for much of America and probably the world. Why? I hate seeing suffering, don't you? Why should I live in a house while someone else lives under a bridge? Why do people have to live outside? Wickedness all around us. Real horror. End quote. Next quote from the bassist Stin. Quote, Why, the song, contains a sample of the infamous Oklahoma tornado siren, which, aside from going off regularly during the busy spring storm season, is tested every Saturday at noon in Oklahoma City. One particular Saturday, all four members of the band recorded the siren independently in different locations, then synced the recordings together and played it into the song to help add a sense of place and also to drive home the impending doom we all feel. We hope it makes your stomach knot up with anxiety the way it does ours. So I love this band. In those two quotes should bring it right up to your logic.
And for a bit of context, you don't drop into the half pipe with that much enthusiasm very quickly with very many bands.
No.
You're all in on this band the way that I was on probably Turnstile 5 years ago. I would drop the DJ Khaled like, meh, 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 like it's massive. Hey, Cliff thinks this different thing is real tight. Everyone should sit up in their chair.
Kyle, me and you talked about it a little bit because they made enough noise, generically speaking, as a band to have caught our attention because they were already doing some pretty wild shit in general, just with the music they've released in the last few years.
I'd heard that song Slaughterhouse, and the single artwork had the like flooded strip mall photo on it, and it was like unclassifiable. And so we both kind of arrived at them separately, and we're just like, holy shit, what's happening here? I don't quite know what this is. It was a great feeling. It was an exhilarating feeling.
So speaking of Slaughterhouse, that was one of the first singles they released. So actually, we'll go ahead and play that now. And it's going to give you a pretty good overall idea of the sound and production in the way that this is going to feel. All right, so while that ripped, for sure, okay, next I want to play the single that made me like, Kyle, you describe this sometimes when you hit a song or a moment or something and you sit up. Like, this made me take all of my attention from whatever I was thinking about or doing. I lost it and went to this song and focused entirely on it. This is called Why. And I'm not usually big on caring about lyrics in heavy music. We've even talked about that some before, and that's for a number of reasons. My primary reason is that most of the time they're a giant waste of my energy and general intellect. You're going to need to care about the lyrics in this song. This one's going to do it for you, so we'll jump in.
Why do people have to live outside in the brutal heat or when it's below freezing? There are people that are made to live outside. Why? Why do people have to live outside? There are buildings all around us with heat on and no one inside. Why? 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 Why do people have to live outside?
I appreciate Why because it hits that Aaron Weiss funny bone deep in your soul. When I first heard it, I was like, this is a natural and nasty, gnarly evolution from Cliff loving me without you.
I didn't want to say it, but I did kind of feel like it was Aaron Weiss is the front man for Idols now.
Yeah, pissed and poetic.
Yep.
Very, very up our alley. I think sonically, it's right in my wheelhouse, and lyrically, vocally, right in yours. So cannot underscore enough. I think we're psyched every time we pick out a new record, but we are probably the most psyched of all of them so far for you to check out God's Country. And somewhat in turnstile fashion, we have been very excited to see in the first few days the reception that it's getting and seems to be transcending their expectations for it. So God's Country is out now on the Flenser, self-described as a dark music label from San Francisco. Respect. Go listen to God's Country however you want, and then please, please, please send this band your money through shows, merch, or especially a direct donation. They are making a fucking dent in the world, and we need more chat pile. So send them your money.
You know, personally, go check out the merch store because the last song on this record, which may be the best one, is grimacesmokingweed.jpg, and there is a shirt that aligns with this song title, and just everything about it is 100% yeah. So, thank you so much. So, Kyle, generally I don't get to love and enjoy prompts that I send to you quite the way I did when I was like, hey, what if we talked about religion being terrible? And then we started throwing parties together, and I'm immediately at the idea of being able to talk about this at all. So, can you channel this into a playlist?
And the answer is yes, because I'm angry about it all the time. And no less than 24 hours after you suggested that prompt, The Pit posted an article with the headline, Upcoming Metal Fest Accused of Opening a Portal to Hell and Summoning Satan by the Local Christian Community. And that would be the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Festival in West Tennessee, which is a part of the country we mostly love, and in spite of itself. We certainly feel an affinity to, because it's real near where we grew up.
Yep.
So, Cliff, if we're made in God's image, what does that say about God when you look around? I started with why on this one, and then just typed in keywords to try to remember all the songs about this that you and I really love. You type in God and sin and prayers and preacher and all that, and you get to some really gnarly stuff. So we have God is War, great opener from All Pigs Must Die. We have the song that probably started to radicalize me around all this stuff, Disciple by Slayer. To be in high school and to see the words God hates us all sitting right there neatly on the warehouse music shelf was kind of a canonical moment for me growing up in a town full of big churches. Then we go Black Breath, Sect, who you turned me on to, another banger Chris Colahan band with Crocodile Prayers, one of the great anti-religious lyricists. Venom Prison, Goat Whore, Surprise Pantera. Love being able to work in Pantera around a serious topic. And Deicide, a band that I probably never would have listened to if we hadn't become friends, and I'm very grateful that they exist. And then some that I forgot about, like Early Graves. You remember Early Graves? Yeah. Their singer died a while back. Great, really, like, this is the most pissed playlist that we've done. Yeah. There's a fervor to this. So if you're mad generally about the way things are going in your hometown or with the economy, or your parents' brains getting scooped out and replaced with hospital jelly via Fox News, this is a playlist to keep you mad enough to do something about it, to just put a proverbial head on a stake at any given moment, not literally, just figuratively speaking. I have said a couple of times over, this is my favorite playlist that we've put together. This one will probably remain the high watermark of a Friday Heavy for me, just for what it represents and what we're leaving behind for the children. I hope one 15 or 16-year-old discovers this little time capsule and sees a path on the road out of their shitty, oppressive, Christo-fascist hometown. So we here at Tune Dig and Friday Heavy reject Christo-fascist terrorism in all its forms, and we hope that this collection of songs fuels your continued protest against that big, horrible tax evading machine.
And if you feel like that's too intense at this moment for your particular point in life, why don't you go ahead and save this playlist, because they're fucking coming for you too.
Yeah. If you don't need it now, or you're scared of it, don't be, because you'll need it later. Fortify thyself for the end times fight, my friends.
Get behind me, Satan.
This is my wherever you go, there you are. This is my renew thyself completely again and again and again. This is my meditation. Wake up, cross your legs, and scream at God, because he's not real and he's not listening.
And with that being the case, let's talk about fucking groceries.
Taking care of each other. Because that's all that's real on this fucking planet. Let's talk about groceries.
Back in June, we talked about an organization called Feed Buffalo, which is a nonprofit serving the Buffalo, New York community, and they are making a really outsized impact in the wake of the mass shooting at the Tops grocery store that happened earlier this year, okay? Check that out, because we were able to talk about food deserts in that episode and the concept of only having very limited spots for certain people to be able to get their own food, because, again, not everybody drives a 2021 Denali and can hop down the interstate to, like, Walmart or whatever's nearby. So we
Costco to get an insufferable, insane amount of paper towels and cheese.
48 toilet papers and 1 Gushers, please. But food desert is one way to describe a number of different concepts that are affecting people's ability to just get food. Okay. And so right now, another thing that's happening, and if you're pretty much anywhere near the working class, you're aware of it, out of control inflation is directly impacting families' abilities to put food on the table. Now, if you're listening to this and you're still like not actively angry about anything in your general life, just go ahead and look a little bit into whether that out of control inflation is actually just corporate profits and how they're able to describe and report finances in a way that passes down cost to the lower classes.
In consumer packaged goods and gas, which
Oh.
is the thing that people love to blame on policy. So just go read some 10Ks and some quarterly earning reports from some of your favorite parent companies.
You got to know how to deal with it now, and you also got to know what's causing it so we can fight back against it the next time we can dig ourselves out from under this. So this week we wanted to highlight a donation-based grocery store. It's over on the west side of Atlanta in the Grove Park neighborhood. It's called The Grocery Spot, and they're currently spending about $500 every day to serve 200 to 300 families in the community. And they're relying on a pay-what-you-can model from the shoppers themselves, and then donations from other folks. So that could be monetary donation, food donations, or even some in-kind donations for certain hygiene products. Like, if I recall correctly, they want to make sure people have diapers or toothbrushes, different things like that, right? And so not only are they serving the local community over there on the west side, but on top of it, like, they have noted themselves, the organization, that they're serving college students from Tech, from State, and from the other universities that are nearby.
And that's sort of an invisible gap, right? Closing the opportunity
That's right.
gap means getting first generation college students into the college degree pipeline to be able to get good jobs. But it's little things. It's small partial amounts of tuition and fees. It's food and lodging. It's the $200 here, the $150 there that can make or break somebody trying to break themselves out of generational poverty. And we see that in schools, especially like my alma mater, Georgia State, that has become a national model for closing that opportunity gap. So it's a real thing and it matters.
Yeah, and that can be, very respectfully, that can be a blind spot for folks who had a college experience where either there was a way that it was paid for, or honestly, someone was just buying their groceries, right? Not everyone has that experience.
Yeah.
And there are different degrees of it. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to point that out, because this isn't just an issue that affects, say, the elderly or the especially poor in our community. It also just affects people who don't have the family support necessary to get everything they need while they're
Yeah.
trying to move on with their lives.
Very happy that you selected this, brought this to our attention, Cliff. To learn more about the Grocery Spot, and more importantly, to get involved, go to thegroceryspot.org. As always, our perspective is rooted in the community that we live in, Atlanta, where we were born and raised. But we encourage you, wherever you're listening from, to find similar organizations in your own community and support them. We're not suggesting that you pour into our community. We are helping you try to find vectors to do so where you live, because that's where it happens, right? You can make a difference where you can see and touch them. Atlanta alone, though, for instance, has a ton of folks doing similarly impactful work. And we're so, so grateful for the grassroots folks that continue to show up and show out on issues like this. One that comes to mind for us that we both love and have supported over the couple of years since it started up is Free 99 Fridge. So look them up on Instagram and help people in your community do things like Free 99 Fridge and like the Grocery Spot. Somebody is doing some kind of mutual aid food stuff that's different from the food bank model. It's direct grocery shopping, pay what you can type thing. Please help people in your community get decent food so they can have a chance at being happy and healthy, because that will also directly impact the quality of life that you yourself experience in your neighborhood.
Awesome. This has been Friday Heavy. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Go to tunedig.com or follow us on Instagram and Twitter for links to the new release, the playlist, and the organization that we talked about today.